Alrighty. Hi, everyone. My name is Sophie Faller. I'm with the Program on the Environment, and today I'm going to be sharing my research, which I conducted with Oxbow Farm and Conservation Center. The title of my research is Dig In, Rethinking Hands-on Education. So in the past 10 to 15 years, garden-based learning has become an integral part of K through 8 education, as environmental issues such as sustainability and climate change have become increasingly conspicuous. This informal approach to science learning provides students with activities which improve eco-literacy, food literacy, and really connect students with the natural world. This teaching tool is also interdisciplinary and can be used across all disciplines and age groups. However, due to school closures, budget cuts, and other external factors, many students no longer have access to this hands-on learning tool. However, external organizations such as Oxbow Farm have created their own digital garden-based learning tools and materials which at-home educators can access even remotely. These kinds of lessons include lessons about pollination with flowers, decomposition with live worms, and learning about germination through dissecting a seed. So through my internship, I set out to answer the question, how and in what ways do students engage with garden-based learning during remote education? Through my internship, Oxbow Farm piloted their virtual garden-based lessons known as the Digital Investigative and Guided DIG experience to students at my current workplace, the Associated Recreation Council, with students ages 6 through 10. While the Oxbow farmers virtually taught these DIG lessons, I acted as the teacher in the room, supporting students, handing out materials, recording anecdotal observations, and conducting qualitative research. My qualitative research really focused on open responses to open-ended questions about the natural world. So all the students answered questions about the natural worlds before the onset of the lessons and at the end of the lessons. The main question was just draw, record, or write everything you know about plants and their life cycles. And they did this through the educational app called Seesaw. And then I also, along with that, recorded anecdotal observations. And so after receiving their prompts, I looked for themes from their prompt responses, which matched the criteria, either falling under ecological literacy or positive attitudinal shifts for towards the environment. One example of a criteria that might fall under ecological literacy is a willingness or curiosity to ask questions about the natural world, or a criteria that might fall under positive attitudinal shifts is inserting or drawing yourself in the picture that corresponds with the natural world. And so after tabulating these criteria, I calculated the mean scores. And so from here, we can see that in figures 1 and 2, we have the mean scores associated with ecological literacy and positive shifts towards the environment. And we can see from both of these that overall, there was an increase in both of these criteria. We can also see down here, this was an example of an anecdotal observation. So this is one of my students, Jerome, on an outdoor worm search. So prior to the lessons, he was not super enthusiastic about learning about the natural world, specifically worms. However, after doing the worm lesson called Wonder Worms, he was very enthusiastic about going on a worm search. And when he found a worm, he named it Little Chocolate. Very cool. And so the three main takeaways from this research are as follows. I saw improved eco-literacy, students demonstrated improved eco-literacy and overall reflecting a better understanding of the environment. And then they thus applied this curiosity to the natural world. And we can see this shown in figure 1. And this is important because eco-literacy and having a better understanding of the natural world and your own local environment really fosters the potential for long-term environmental stewardship. The next big takeaway was attitudinal shifts, specifically positive attitudinal shifts towards the environment. So as we see in figure 2, students expressed interest in caring for their local environment and habitat after the lessons. And it really connected them with the natural world in a deeper, more meaningful way. And both of these are sort of tied together, fostering long-term environmental stewardship. And then finally, another takeaway was enthusiasm. So despite the lessons being taught virtually, it was a huge success. And it was amazing to see the kids learn in such a different environment. And it was also a new experience for the educators. But overall, it was very successful, even with the opportunities and barriers of technology and just remote learning in general. So the main implications from this research is that post-COVID, there is an urgency to put attention towards supporting students' nature-related needs. And this can be really fulfilled through garden-based learning because many students have not been able to access gardening or green space. Being able to provide students with virtual garden-based learning and materials is a great start to adjusting to education post-COVID. Furthermore, many students who participated in the DIG experience did not have access to hands-on STEM learning even before the pandemic. So although the pandemic has created many barriers to education, this was one area which really illuminated opportunities to provide students who do not always have these kinds of STEM opportunities, the ability to have garden-based learning in their own classroom. And then finally, garden-based learning provides the potential for accessible and flexible STEM learning for students from all socioeconomic backgrounds, even during a pandemic. So, I mean, if we can conduct garden-based learning successfully in bad times, why not in good times as well? And this research makes it very apparent that we can provide hands-on STEM education for students who are in urban areas or in rural areas, and it can still be successful. And then finally, I just want to acknowledge my site supervisor, Hallie, and the rest of the Oxbow education team for this opportunity and continuous support, and Jessica Thompson, my faculty advisor, for sharing her immense knowledge. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening.